Hi everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Guess what just got dragged in on a tow truck? This baby. It's a 1993 Saab Turbo 9000 CSE. Haven't seen one of these in the wild in a long time. Let's see here, 224,000 miles, not bad. Customer complaint is crank no start. Five-speed manual. This is the hot sauce version for 1993. Pretty cool. And look who's already here visiting. The 91 Audi 200 Quattro Turbo Wagon. This is a cool pair of cars to have on the lot. So let's get into this thing, see what's going on. I think they have the battery disconnected or it's completely dead. It's been at another shop for, I don't know, probably a month. The owner said they tried some parts, crank sensor, ignition coil pack, but he said the problem was intermittent and getting worse and worse. Couldn't get it running today, so they had it towed here. I'm excited for this one. Let's take a look in the trunk. We have any professional Swedish parts? Well, I guess there's an ignition coil pack there. Direct ignition, okay. I don't see the original crank sensor anywhere. Here's a spare tire. Let's take a peek under the hood. Nice. Batteries right there. Got some relays. Got some fuses. Got the turbo, red top, direct ignition, 2.3 16 valve. This is really neat. I love cars like this. We got some butt connectors. Probably some wiring looms falling apart from age and heat. But yeah, so I guess most shops would be like, we don't want to touch this thing, but I love when cars like this get dragged in. Quirky, sporty. If it has a stick shift, that's even better. So let's well, the battery's connected, but if you turn the key, we got nothing there. No lights, no hazards. So looks like we have dead battery. Let me get a boost pack on this thing and we'll get some voltage on it. And then how do we read codes? I don't know. It's not OBD2. We'll have to do some research. Alright, so we have 0.9 volts on the battery. This is the Tornado 90,000 by TOPDON. Let's see if the battery accepts any current whatsoever. 13.5 volts. 0 amps, are you kidding me? Is this thing a complete brick? 0 amps. Let's see if anything works in the car. Yep. Well, I'm sure it's not going to crank because turn that off, because we only got 50 amps available right now. Yep. So we definitely need a battery or at least a boost pack to get this thing even cranking. Well, actually there might be some hope left for this battery. The charging current slowly keeps climbing up, so I'm just going to keep the charger on here for a while, but let's do some research. How do we scan this thing for codes? That's going to be interesting. Alright, so I do want to crank this thing before the battery comes back to life. Let's make sure the engine oil level is decent. Yep, it's right up between the min and the max. That looks good. Integrated dipstick into the oil fill cap. We've got coolant. So we're ready to crank this thing. And for the boost pack, I'm going to use the GOOLOO GT4000S. So this one, the GOOLOO GP4000, I've owned for about a year or so. It's been fantastic. My favorite jump starter of all time. It has 88 or almost 89 watt hours of energy reserve. Now the GT4000S has the same 88.8, so same battery size. In terms of how big it is, it's a little fatter, but it has this cool LCD display, and to boost it, all you got to do, hold the boost button. We're at 16 volts. Let's crank this baby over. See what happens. Okay, we're definitely neutral. The brakes are pumping up. Let's see. Okay, crank no start for sure. Let me see if I heard the fuel pump kick on. Try to reset it. Was there a prime? Alright. And where is the check engine light? Check engine radiator level. Must be some kind of info display unit. We control the brightness here. Can't really see what the display is saying. I have to check if this engine computer is online. I don't see a check engine light. So after 5 cranking attempts, we're only down to 90% on the battery pack, so that's awesome. And the battery is charging up at 16 amps now, so we'll just let this simmer. Let's, I mean, we could pull out a spark plug, see if there's fuel on it, kind of go old school a little bit, but eventually we're going after this engine computer. Well, here's a spark plug. It's not wet with gas. It smells a little bit stale, but let's just check the basics. I mean, we could hook up a scope to the injector and the ignition coil. So it has 9 control wires here, so it's smart ignition coil cassette. Just see if we have spark and fuel. Alright, so I have the key on. Test light from battery ground. If it finds a positive, it should light up. So I'm just going to stick it in one of these injector wires. I don't know which one's the feed and which one's the control, but we'll find out shortly. Let's crank it, see if that lights up. There's the test light. No, Did not light up. Let's stick it in the other wire. But we have no power to the fuel injectors. Alright, got it in the other wire. Okay, light is on. And stays on. Okay, that's promising. Alright, so now we can figure out which one's the control, which one is the feed. So this one is bright. This one, it's dim, and you can hear a slight click from the injector, so the green and red is the control. The blue and red is the power feed. So let's put a scope on the control wire and see if there's an injector pulse. I don't believe there will be. Well, let's do some research. This is going to take several hours, I already have that feeling, because reading diagnostic trouble code says DTCs may be read with Saab ISAT or an OBD2 compliant scan tool by following the manufacturer's instructions. That's not very helpful whatsoever. I don't even know where the port is for reading these diagnostic codes. Let's see. But not helpful whatsoever. It is capable of setting diagnostic codes like P codes, 4-digit codes. So that's pretty advanced for 1993, I guess. I did find on the interwebs, how do I read fault codes? This guy has a 9000. 1993, yep, 9000. He has the Bosch injection. We have the CSE, not the CD. But there are some tips here. Flash codes. Does use flash codes, all 9000s do. To get them to turn ignition on, wait till the engine will light a flash number of times corresponding to fault. Does use flash codes, not all unfortunately. Only 9000s with DI, APC, or Trionic. The DI, APC ones will only flash codes for DI, APC faults, not for fuel injection faults. So do we have Trionic? What do we have here? Test points under the hood in the connector on the left side near the windshield. It usually has a cover and several connections on it. Around 6-pin, 4-pin, 3-pin. Procedure. So that's for flash codes. We could try to find that. This guy had some success today with reading the fault codes. I found a diagnostic socket where it should be, but only the 6-pin round connector had wires attached. Other spade connectors were all empty. Then I located 2 sockets under the driver's seat cross member and removed the mounting to expose the wire colors, where I found the gray wire with the red stripe going to pin 2 of the black square plug. Wow, so these things are hidden. It's not easy to even flash the codes. Retrieve 2 codes related to lean mixture. Okay. So this is a 92, 2.3 liter, 16 valve, non-turbo with Bosch injection. So we might have a different system completely. Then for wiring diagrams, only OE diagrams are available. And obviously they are cryptic. So there's LH fuel system, Trionic engine management, with or without traction control. Let's try without traction control. So if we can find this engine computer, maybe it'll say Trionic on it, so we know what we're looking at. But this, like I said, is the fancy version. And there's the H61 diagnostic connector, I think. They're all numbered, they're all labeled. Data link connector. See if we can find anything in data link connector. Ooh, below rear seat. Okay. Below rear seat. Wow. car electronics, engine electronics. Crazy. So I'm going to do some research, take some notes. This is going to take some serious time. So the engine computer lives behind the access panel, like under the wipers. There's the cowl. There's the brake fluid reservoir. So it's over here, apparently. So if we get a visual on it, maybe we can see what this thing is. So I got the computer out of its home. It says Saab on it, and kind of had a position like this. Holy crap, what the heck? Is that thing full of water? Wow. That might be our entire problem. It's literally pouring out of there. Let me unhook that thing, but this is insanity. Alright, so I got the computer disconnected. Doesn't look terrible on the connector, but the box itself is completely full of water. That is ridiculous. Let's try to, it looks like 4 Torx screws and maybe the board will slide out. Wow. This has probably already been replaced. Alright, let's bust this thing open. I assume it's these 4 screws, or is it the ones on the sides? Maybe these little guys. Get a smaller bit. This is crazy stuff. Small screws. So I wonder if they pre-fill the ECMs at the factory with this special fluid. Maybe we're completely off base here about water intrusion. The other screw's messed up. Okay. Wow. Oh boy. How did this work intermittently? And is there a chance of restoring this? Oh man, this is not good. This is not good at all. Let me take some pictures. Holy crap, there's like a pint of water in the ECM box. Yeah, I don't think that's factory fluid. Alrighty, let's see how much water drains out. Yeah, over a cup. Yeah. Wonder why they didn't seal that up. Anyways, can we salvage this situation? I doubt it, because you can see up here everything's like nice and smooth, and here you have these little corrosion marks everywhere. I mean, we can try to blow it off. Just dunk it and deox it, see what happens. Just plug it right in. But like that's not good. Maybe those are just test terminals. I don't know. Let's get a brush, clean everything up, see if the car even tries to cough or whatever. So I don't have high hopes for this engine computer board, but we'll give it a shot. Nothing to lose, right? Nothing to lose. And we're just going to douche this thing with electronic cleaner and use a fine bristle brush to try to clean up some of the green crusties. Again, this is going to take some time, so place your bets now. I'll give it 5% chance that anything will happen. Alright, so after electronics cleaner, deox it, and this actually works really well, a little nylon pipe cleaner just to clean between all the terminals. It doesn't look terrible. Some of the conformal coating here peeled off and flew away, but the traces look intact. The components, none of them are blown up or corroded to death, which is interesting and impressive. You can see where the water level was here. So with the pipe cleaner we can go make sure there's no green crusties between any of these pins or contacts. And the chips. I don't know. Let me finish this up and then we'll plug it in and see if anything changes. But not a good situation here. This makes for a nice picture. There's the water line. So all this was submerged. You can see how the conformal coating here is bubbling up. But like I said, let's blow it off, plug it in, see what happens.